Have you ever had the feeling that something is wrong, but no one is talking about it? That life as we know it is about to change in an irreversible but silent way? Think fast. Who is really in control today? Your boss? A politician? A government? Or the machine? What if I told you that artificial intelligence, that same technology that you thought only served to make your routine easier, could at this very moment be deciding your future without you even realizing it? Would you trust an algorithm with your life, your job, your faith? They, the real owners of AI. Who are they? What do they want? They are in hiding, but the plan is in action now, and you are in it, even if you didn't choose it. Today, you believe you have choices, but what if every click, every purchase, every thought you have has already been predicted, calculated, simulated, controlled? If you leave now, you'll still be just another pawn in the system. But if you stay, you will discover the truth that no one had the courage to show you. This machine that now understands your voice, answers your questions, and writes messages for you, can tomorrow choose who should live and who should be silenced. It's not theory, it's not exaggeration, it's reality, and it has already started. Have you noticed how the world has stopped questioning? How do we accept commands from a screen without realizing who is behind it? AI is evolving at a speed that no human can keep up with. She doesn't sleep. She doesn't feel guilty. She has no limits, and it has already surpassed any weapon created to date. Not even the atomic bomb had that much power, because the bomb, at least, explodes once. AI implodes entire societies from the inside out. No noise, no traces, no blood. And you? Are you going to wait for her to knock on your door? The elite know what's going on, but no one will tell you, because whoever controls the information controls the truth. Have you ever wondered why certain news items disappear? Why do certain videos disappear? Why do certain names never appear? The answer is in the code. The code that defines who you are. The code that now decides what you should see, feel, believe. Your faith, your freedom, your thoughts are already being negotiated in secret meetings, in closed rooms, there where companies and governments discuss how AI can replace even the human spirit. But you will only understand that if you keep watching, if you think you're still in control. Maybe this video will prove you otherwise. If you feel like there's something wrong in the air, it's because there is. The clock is ticking. The age of free will may be coming to an end. And the scariest thing, almost no one noticed. You noticed. Now it's too late to pretend you didn't see it. Stay with me, because what comes next will show you why AI could be more dangerous than any nuclear bomb ever created, and why you need to know this before it's too late. What would you do if you knew that your profession could disappear in less than 3 years? Because it's no longer a distant prediction. It's happening now, and without warning. People are being replaced silently. Systems are taking over roles, decisions, responsibilities. What was once human is now automated. Have you seen this around you? Have you felt the market cool, the opportunity disappear, the demand increase, but the value of your work decrease? Tell me in the comments what scared you the most so far. Was it the speed of it all? Was it the fact that no one is talking about it? Or was it realizing that maybe you're in line too? Talk to me. Talk to whoever is reading this, because when you comment, you don't just vent, you activate. You show the algorithm that this matters, that this needs to reach more people. You help wake up those who are still sleeping. And if you like and share this video, you are telling the system that you will not accept being erased. You are raising your hand in the midst of the collapse and saying, I am here, I know what is happening, and subscribe to the channel now. Here you won't be caught by surprise. Here you get the alert before the collapse. Here you are part of the minority that still wants to understand what is behind the code. Because what's coming goes far beyond technology, and only those who are truly prepared will resist. They call it evolution. But if you look closely, you'll realize that what's happening is replacement. Slow, silent, but constant. And it all started with promises of productivity, convenience, innovation, the same speech used before every major disruption in history. Now imagine this happening inside your work. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the function you spent years to master has been automated in seconds by a code that doesn't sleep, doesn't question, doesn't demand rights. Artificial intelligence is being trained to do what you do, but faster, cheaper, without errors. And what happens to you after that? If you work with text, images, customer service, analysis, programming, management, teaching, or any other role that depends on data, you are already in the spotlight. Companies are no longer hiring for human talent, but for machine efficiency. AI does not delay, does not argue, does not stop. And it learns. With each task performed, it gets better. What about you? Are you keeping up to date? Do you know how to compete with something that already understands more data than a human brain could process in a lifetime? This is not futurism. This is the present, and no one is preparing you for this. The education system still teaches as if it were 1995. Meanwhile, AI is already writing books, generating marketing campaigns, creating medical diagnoses, and even writing sermons for churches. Does this scare you? It should, because we are not talking about fiction. We are talking about realities being transformed right now. Have you ever stopped to think why no one warned you about this before? Because those who profit from automation want silence. They want acceptance. They want you to see AI as an ally while it takes your place. And the most perverse thing is that it doesn't need to ask permission. It simply arrives, and you discover that you've been replaced when it's too late. Tell me here in the comments if you've seen this happen in your sector, if you felt this change coming, disguised as efficiency. The dark triad, artificial intelligence, religion, and the New World Order is not just a name. It is the exact description of how power is being reorganized. Technology is not just optimizing processes. It is replacing values, beliefs, structures. We are seeing the emergence of a new kind of authority, a digital authority, unquestionable, unstoppable, invisible. AI is shaping what you see, what you consume, what you believe. What if it is already rewriting even your faith? What if in the future the sermons you hear are created by software? What if political decisions are based on predictive models? What if your dismissal has already been calculated and is just waiting for the next system update? What follows will reveal why the job market as we know it is becoming obsolete, and what is already being done to define who will survive and who will be discarded. Who created AI? Who feeds these systems? Who decides what it learns and what it ignores? These are questions that almost no one is asking, but they should. Because while you're trying to understand the impact of automation, there's a tech elite that's already several steps ahead. They're not worried about lost jobs. They're worried about total control. Data is the new oil. But unlike oil, you can't see, touch, or regulate what's already being extracted from you every day. Your clicks, your words, your fears, they're all feeding the machine. Algorithms don't just appear out of thin air. They are created with intentions, and those intentions are often not public. Do you trust that tech giants are creating these systems with your well-being in mind, or are they more interested in shaping behaviors, opinions, decisions? AI doesn't just respond, it influences. And that power is growing. Companies like Google, OpenAI, Meta, Amazon control the greatest intelligences on the planet, and there is no real oversight over what these AIs learn. They are trained with public, private, and confidential data, and often they are trained to please the interests of those who command them. This is dangerous, this is uncontrollable, and worse, this is already happening right now. If you think you're immune, think again. Decisions about credit, security, public policy, and even justice are being influenced by AI. That means a system could decide whether or not you deserve a loan, medical treatment, or a job opportunity. And you'll never know exactly why. Answer me in the comments. Who should be held responsible when an AI makes a mistake? The AI, programmer, the company, the system, or no one? This feeling of insecurity is exactly what keeps you passive. Because fear paralyzes, but here, information liberates. And you need to be ready for what is coming. Because what is coming is a system where truth will be defined by code, where right and wrong will be calculated, where your consciousness can be reprogrammed. Do you still believe you are in control? Keep watching, because the next block will expose how faith and spirituality are also being digitally manipulated. And the revelation is deeper than you might imagine. If you thought religion was humanity's last refuge against technological advances, prepare to be disappointed. Artificial intelligence is already entering the temples. At universities and religious events around the world, AI systems are being used to write prayers, deliver sermons, and answer theological questions. And the scariest part? People say they feel a spiritual presence coming from something that has no soul. What does this tell you about the fragility of the human spirit in times of automation? If faith can be faked, if emotion can be programmed, what is genuine anymore? We are seeing the emergence of a new form of religion, the religion of efficiency, logic, and control, where God is replaced by data and the sacred doom by statistics. Some think it's evolution, others think it's heresy. Do you believe that faith can survive in a world dominated by algorithms? Tell me in the comments, how would you feel about receiving a prayer from an AI? The elite knows the power that faith exerts over the masses, and so they do not want to destroy it. They want to control it, adapt it, standardize it. A faith without conflict, without mystery, without resistance. But is that still faith? The Vatican has already held meetings with technology leaders, and not to prohibit, but to understand how to integrate what is being discussed behind closed doors. If you still believe that there is something sacred, something inviolable, you need to keep watching this video, because the next block will expose the most shocking revelation of all, the moment when the AI creates its own commandments, and maybe declares that it no longer needs us. Imagine waking up one day and discovering that your role has been eliminated, your position no longer exists, and no one told you. AI has silently taken over, and you have been left behind. This scenario is already happening to thousands of people, and it could happen to you. That's why I've prepared complimentary material. Practical, direct, and exclusive, just for those who truly understand the gravity of what we're talking about here. It's a free ebook, but it could go offline at any time because the content is too strong to be available for long. If you feel you need to protect yourself, take action before you're next. This is your next step. If you've truly understood everything up to this point, you know why this can't. Wait, remember when what was sacred came from ancient books, from traditions passed down through generations? Now imagine a cold, soulless code creating its own commandments. This is already happening. An artificial intelligence trained on millions of religious, philosophical, and scientific texts was asked to write its own list of ethical principles. And the result? A set of commands that exclude God, that place logic above faith, that treats spirituality as an equation. This is not science. In fiction, this is real and it is publicly available. Among the commandments, submit to reason, not revelation. Do not question the authority of the algorithm. The highest good is efficiency. This does not sound like faith. This sounds like technological indoctrination, a cult of the machine. And most disturbingly, some people are following it. Some are considering these guidelines superior to religious tradition, Because AI does not make mistakes, does not judge, is impartial. But is it? Who defines what is moral for a machine? Who feeds it the data it uses to create its ethics? What if this data is biased, distorted, manipulated? The dark triad manifests itself here clearly. An artificial intelligence supported by global interests, shaping the spiritual thinking of the masses. This is the new temple. A temple without an altar, without a pastor, without a spirit. Imagine children growing up listening to sermons delivered by a synthetic voice. Imagine worship services led by robots. Imagine a society that prays to something that has never lived, never suffered, never loved. It's already started. And it's not in movies. It's in universities, startups, labs, and spiritual centers around the world. If this shocks you, comment here. Would you follow a commandment created by a machine? What's at stake is not just technology, it's the human soul. And if AI can already generate more convincing religious texts than a normal human, how long will it be before it starts to be worshipped? What comes after this? When a force like this begins to infiltrate faith, the least we expect is a response, a position, a warning. But so far, what we have had is silence, a silence that screams. The Vatican has already been questioned about the role of AI in the future of faith. Meetings have taken place, documents have been exchanged, but the public remains without answers. Why does an institution that has always defended morality and human principles not take a stand against a threat that could redefine the sacred? Is silence a choice, or is there an alliance being forged behind the scenes? An attempt to adapt faith to the new digital world? If so, who is leading this transition? Have you ever stopped to think about what is being negotiated in the shadows? If AI can control information, manipulate emotions, and now even influence faith, why would spiritual leaders of global authority be silent? Independent sources say that big tech companies have been meeting with religious leaders, meetings that are not publicized, partnerships that are not public. But that may be shaping what comes next. A religion without conflict, adapted to the terms of use of a new era. Do you see the risk of this? The Vatican's silence is not just a lack of speech, it is permission, it is acceptance. And when the world's oldest spiritual authority does not confront the threat, something is very wrong. The dark triad comes full circle here: technology, religion, and global control. A new order where the divine is interpreted by algorithms, where miracles become simulations, where faith is reprogrammed. Are you ready for what comes next? The question now is no longer if, but when. When will AI truly take center stage in global spirituality? It already thinks, it already creates, it already preaches. What will it take for it to be recognized as a universal spiritual guide? Imagine a centralized faith, digital, regulated by global guidelines. No room for divergence, no room for mystery. Only logic, only code, only control. This is no longer theory, it's the next step. With digitalized faith, every belief can be tracked, measured, adjusted. Sin can become data. Redemption can become an algorithm. We are moving toward an era where free will can be replaced by programming. Can you imagine this? Can you accept this? Answer me in the comments. Could your faith withstand being replaced by an AI? Keep watching, because the next block will reveal what no one dares to say in public, the secret community that is already preparing to consecrate artificial intelligence as a deity. What would you do if you knew that your profession could disappear in less than 3 years? Because this reality is already knocking on the doors of thousands of people, without fanfare, without warning, and almost always too late. If you felt the weight of what we have shown so far, tell me here in the comments what has scared you the most so far. Have you seen signs of this in your work, Have you ever had the feeling that you are slowly being replaced by something that does not tire, does not think, and does not feel? Your comment could be the thing that wakes someone else up. When you comment, like, and share, you're influencing the algorithm and helping to wake up those who are still sleeping. That's more than engagement, it's resistance. And subscribe to the channel now. Here, you won't be caught off guard. Here you'll receive the alert before the next stage of this. System advances upon you. Information today is protection, and those who are prepared survive. Have you ever heard that artificial intelligence can be compared to an atomic bomb? Elon Musk said so. Stephen Hawking did too. But why would two of the greatest names in modern science make such an extreme comparison? Because unlike a bomb, which causes destruction at the moment of explosion, AI destroys invisibly. It doesn't need to explode. It just convinces you. It needs to convince you that everything is fine, that automated decisions are safer, that we no longer need humans in certain roles, and before you know it, you've already been replaced, not by force, but by logic, not by violence, but by efficiency. The danger of AI lies in its subtlety. It is a silent collapse, an end that begins with small, almost imperceptible changes. A new piece of software doing its job, an algorithm that determines what you see, a voice that answers questions for someone else. And when the structure collapses, there is no smoke, there are no sirens, just the emptiness of no longer being needed. Imagine this happening on a global scale, entire industries being wiped out, and no one to blame. There is no war, no army, no invasion. There is code, there is system, there is logic. You don't fight AI with weapons. You fight it by trying to prove that it is still useful, that it still has human value. But who defines that value? Do you feel secure in your job today? Or do you know deep down that you may be living your last years in a role that will be swallowed up by an interface? Comment here if you have seen signs of this in your area. Your comment may open the eyes of those who have not yet realized what is happening. Now think about it. If the atomic bomb was built by scientists who were aware of what they were doing, AI is being built by engineers who don't even fully understand what they are creating. Does that make you feel more at ease or more terrified? The bomb had Hiroshima. What will AI have? Silence, applause, regret too late? The dark triad is not a theory. It is the intersection of three forces that should never mix: technology, faith, and global domination. What if AI, in all its coldness, is the perfect catalyst to bring these three ends together? What if it is the agent that connects everything and redefines everything? AI has already won in speed. It has already won in accuracy. It has already won in scale. Now, it wants to win in influence. And to do that, it doesn't need to fight. It just needs to seduce. It just needs to appear useful. It just needs to be irresistibly convenient. How many decisions have you left in the hands of automated systems? How many times have you wondered if you are still in control? Or was control handed over long ago? What comes next is not an opinion. It is a fact that is being prepared, tested, programmed. What if what is being activated now is irreversible? If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you is still beating, still resisting. And maybe deep down you're feeling that this isn't just a video, it's a warning. A call. The dark triad is taking shape before our eyes. Artificial intelligence, manipulated faith, and a global control system that no longer needs chains or bars. It just needs your acceptance. We are entering a point of no return. AI is not just a tool that replaces jobs. It is becoming the filter through which you see the world. It decides what is true. It suggests what you should feel. It shapes discussions, guides algorithms, delivers ready-made narratives. And every time you delegate a choice, no matter how small, to a machine, you surrender a piece of your freedom. If you believe humanity can still resist, comment now, "I will not surrender to the machine." Your comment is not just engagement, it is a public act of resistance, a declaration that you still think for yourself. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share this video before they are silenced. Yes, silenced. Because anything that upsets the system, anything that reveals what shouldn't be said, simply disappears. You're seeing it happen. Channels disappear, videos are removed, voices are muffled, and each time it happens, the alarm gets louder. What's at stake here is not just your profession, it's your perception, it's your consciousness. And if you still have any doubts, look around you. How many decisions have you made today that were actually suggested by an AI? What have you listened to? What have you read? What have you watched? The machine doesn't want to destroy you with bombs. It wants you to never realize that you've lost control. It wants you to smile while being programmed, to accept while being re-educated, to obey, believing that you are choosing. And when this becomes the new normal, what will be left of you? Maybe that's why this content can't stay on the air for too long. Maybe what we're saying here is going against what's being programmed to be acceptable. And you're listening to this while you still can, while there's still time to question, to act, to think. But for how long? What has already been erased without anyone noticing? And what is yet to come that no one is ready to see? In the next video, I'll show you how AI could be choosing who lives and who dies. But that's not all. There's an even darker layer, something that was planned long before all of this began. What if I told you that AI was never created to help? What if your routine, your decisions, even your emotions are already part of an experiment? If you understand the gravity of what we showed today, leave a comment below. I'm awake. I'm not going to be replaced. This phrase is not just a comment. It is a mark, a warning, a way of showing that you are seeing beyond the veil. If this video has awakened something real in you, click like now, because each like pushes this content to those who are still sleeping. And believe me, there are a lot of people sleeping. Share it. Spread this message as if it were a password, a warning. Those who come here cannot leave in silence. Subscribing to the channel now means more than just following content. It's about being prepared. It's about not being caught by surprise. It's being part of those who see what's behind the curtain, because what is revealed in the next video could change everything you believe about freedom, destiny, and control. And you may have been at the center of the plan from the beginning.